Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're exploring a truly fascinating concept straight from our source material. The idea here is that a meaningful life isn't just something we stumble upon by accident, you know? It's not a lottery ticket. Instead, it's a structure we deliberately construct, step by step, through our perception, our choices, our sustained effort, and our defined purpose. We are quite literally acting as the architects of our own reality. So, this brings up a profound question right off the bat. Are you living by choice or by chance? Really think about that for a second, because drifting through life just leaves us entirely at the mercy of circumstance, reacting to whatever random thing comes our way. That question really sets the tone for our whole journey today. We're going to learn how to stop drifting, start taking control, and become the active architects of our own experience. Section 1. The Foundation of Perception. Okay, let's dive into this. The bedrock of this whole structure is perception. Basically, belief dictates what is actually possible for us, because we're completely bound by the constraints of what we perceive. The text makes such a brilliant point here. Whether a limitation actually exists matters way less than whether it is believed to exist. Your belief acts as either the ultimate constraint or the ultimate catalyst. Believing in a genuinely ambitious, extraordinary outcome is what actually gives it that initial spark to eventually take shape in reality. Think about your daily reactions. Nearly every single situation you encounter offers both a positive and a negative angle, right? A discouraging interpretation just completely drains meaning and slaps artificial limits on you. But a constructive interpretation, that brings balance and genuine satisfaction. And the incredible thing the source points out is that by deliberately practicing that constructive response over and over again, it eventually just becomes our default foundational habit. It's like building muscle memory for your mind. Section 2. The Power of Choice. Now consider this quote. Destiny does not rest with fate or chance. It rests with the decisions a person makes and the effort applied to carry them out. Let that cinematic weight sink in for a moment. You see, avoiding a decision is in and of itself a decision. Doing nothing creates this unworkable limbo and just hands control of your life over to external forces. You absolutely have to take the reins. So how do we actually make better choices and build out the walls of our existence? Constructing new options where none appeared to exist is an absolutely crucial life skill. We literally don't have to accept whichever option just happens to be the most visible. We can actively seek out alternatives. We can work backwards from our preferred outcome. And importantly, we have to promptly address things and start treating doubt as an early warning signal instead of an excuse to procrastinate. Putting things off just adds unnecessary complexity rather than removing it. Section 3. Applying sustained effort. And this brilliantly illustrates our next phase, because a blueprint is useless without the actual physical and mental work required to raise the building. Think of meaningful life changes like following a recipe. First, you gather the required resources. Then you combine the components in the right proportions. And finally, you apply sustained time and attention. It requires deliberate, upfront preparation in advance rather than expecting instant gratification from a momentary choice. I mean, you can't just throw raw ingredients in a bowl and expect a perfectly baked cake to instantly appear, right? But keep in mind, effort isn't just physical labor. Persistent thought patterns completely shape which paths even seem available to us in the first place. It's wild, but difficulty is so often self-created through our own habitual negative thoughts. So actively reframing your setbacks mentally, that requires just as much sustained effort as any physical action you're going to take. The good news is, you don't have to build this structure completely alone. While individual effort can sometimes feature isolated energy and limited endurance, group consciousness and shared intention generate this absolutely incredible momentum. The source emphasizes that cooperative effort, getting your attention fully aligned with others, is quite literally one of the most effective ways to accomplish a shared objective over the long haul. Section 4. Designing your true purpose. So the crucial point is this: identity is actively built. It is directly shaped by your choices. I mean, you're not the exact same person you were a year ago, and you certainly aren't going to be the same person a year from now. You can reconsider and revise your current identity at absolutely any point. Rather than treating who you are today as some permanent fixed state, you always have the power of revision. When designing that identity, you might wonder, where do we actually find meaning? Well, here are some incredible sources of lasting meaning mentioned in the text: finding genuine joy, mastering a craft, supporting your loved ones during hardships, exploring your own independence. The meaning of life isn't some fixed answer waiting to be discovered under a rock somewhere. It's the meaning that you deliberately choose to bring to it through your daily engagements and deep relationships. Section 5.
the ongoing journey.
Let's move to and see how this builds into the final phase of our explainer. Because every undertaking, every project, or honestly even a whole lifetime follows a very specific pattern. There's a beginning full of potential, a middle characterized by growth or setback, and an end remembered with either satisfaction or regret. The truly beautiful thing to take away here is that each of these stages remains completely open to our active influence, provided we just pay attention.
Which brings us to a super vital daily choice. We can easily fall into passive routine, just settling into unbroken, predictable repetition. Or we can choose daily adventure, where we approach familiar, everyday tasks with fresh curiosity and openness. Look, time is our absolutely most vital resource. Choosing to inject something genuinely new into our days prevents life from becoming just a boring series of unbroken repetitions.
The source text offers this highly comforting perspective. Life remains something to explore rather than something that must be fully solved before it can be enjoyed. Man, it is just incredibly comforting to reflect on the fact that we don't need immediate answers for everything right this second. Leaving some questions open actually makes our daily existence so much more manageable and significantly more enjoyable. We don't have to solve the puzzle today to enjoy the picture.
And that brings us to a provocative final question that I want you to deeply reflect on as we wrap up. What will you choose to build with the days you have left? You hold the architectural blueprint for your own life. Your perception, your choices, your sustained effort, and your defined purpose. Those are your building materials. Don't just leave your life to chance. Start taking immediate, deliberate action today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy building.